Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Cameron Talks Football. I am finally back with another video. Sorry for not making a video for a while. I just didn't want to push out a video that I did not feel would be the best to its ability. I did not feel like making a video that other people would not enjoy watching. And now I have waited for free agency to pretty much die down to a point where I can pretty much say what is fully going on here. We don't know if there's going to keep going stuff happening like Lamar Jackson going somewhere, DeAndre Hopkins going somewhere. But until then, I'm going to be talking about the ones that have signed so far until 3/29, so March 29th, 2023. That I think things that are not going to be in this video is Marvin Jones has signed with the Detroit Lions signed with the Detroit Lions after being on the after being on the Jaguars. Sorry, he signed a 3-year deal up to $5 million. That is really going to help the Detroit Lions. He's now going to be the wide receiver 2 because Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be that wide receiver 1. And now I think if they bolster up that defense in this draft, which I think they could, I think this team can be a playoff contender. I think they might even win the NFC North. I think that is going to be a real possibility. It is really up for grabs now because it looks like Aaron Rodgers is going to be traded to the New York Jets. But now let's look at the teams that have signed some players. So first, as you can see, the Arizona Cardinals, nothing really stands out here. They signed a linebacker, that's good. Kyzir White, that is really good actually. That they really did need some linebacker help. As you can see, they are bolstering up this offensive line again to protect Kyler Murray because it looked like was it Cliff Kingsbury did not really care about protecting Kyler Murray that much. And they also did some bad route combinations that I've seen it all over the place how bad they were. Yeah, nothing really too special here. So I'm not gonna talk about it too much if there's not that many special signings. The Atlanta Falcons, however, I do like what they are doing. Not going to lie, they signed Jesse Bates to a 4-year, $65 million deal. They just signed Calais Campbell, I believe, today to a 1-year deal. I think it's like around 3.5 million, something like that. They signed quarterback Taylor Heineke. I think he can push to be the starter. And if he can get the starting job, I think he can get some wins because he's gonna have a good supporting cast around him. They're gonna have Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts, and then some also I can't remember anyone else right now, but I know they do have some other good weapons that they're gonna be able to use in that offense. And then also in the defensive side, they added Jesse Bates, like I said, some good corners like Mike Hughes. On the wide receiver side, they actually signed Mac Hollins and Scotty Miller to add more to that wide receiver room. They're not like wide receiver ones to say, but they are assigning to help bolster up that wide receiver room. The Baltimore Ravens, completely terrible completely terrible franchise right now. They're doing so bad in free agency. Lamar Jackson wants out of the Ravens because they're not giving him a good deal. They're not even giving him a deal close to Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson, two people that he plays way better than. He has an MVP trophy. He's led the Ravens to a playoffs a couple of times. He hasn't made it far in the playoffs, however, but he has led them to the playoffs a couple of times. And then he said he needed some wide receivers. What do? They signed Nelson Agholor to a 1-year, 3.25 million deal, which is not good at all. They need to go after a wide receiver like DeAndre Hopkins or like another stud wide receiver like Odell Beckham. If they got one of those two, I think they would have stopped the trade negotiations with Lamar Jackson. That's just what I think. I think he would have been happy there because they do have a good enough defense to make that offense go back on the field and score more touchdowns. This is where it starts to get better. This one for the Bills hurts me a little bit because they signed Damian Harris, Patriots running back. He was one of my favorites on the team. He did go to a good team, $1.7 million deal for 1 year. I hope he does play good, but when he plays the Patriots, I hope he doesn't. That's the only time I hope he doesn't play good. The good thing is they signed Jordan Poyer again to a 2-year, $12.5 million deal. It did look like he was going to leave, however, because in multiple sources, he said he wanted to go to a team that would not take his a lot of money out of his taxes. So it did look like he was gonna go to a team like maybe like Miami, because that's kind of what Tyreek Hill did when he went from the Chiefs to the Dolphins. He did not lose that much money of his contract due to like taxes and all that because of the state that he is in Florida now. So maybe that is why Jordan Poyer was thinking about leaving. Maybe he just didn't find a good suitor for him to be able to leave. But as you can see, they re-signed Jordan Poyer. They signed Taylor Rapp, so now they have a good. Now they have some good safeties back there. It's Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, and now Taylor Rapp. I think Taylor Rapp is probably going to play more of a nickel now. I would say when they go into a nickel formation. They signed a punter. They signed some guards. They re-signed some guards. It looks like also that is good for them. Carolina Panthers, not a bad offseason. Honestly, not a bad offseason. They signed Adam Thielen. They signed Hayden Hurst, Von Bell, Miles Sanders, Bradley Boozman, DJ Chark, and then they added to the offense. I think this freaking NFC South is a weird division where almost any of the teams can possibly win it. The Falcons can win it. The Panthers can win it. The Saints can win it, and the Buccaneers can win it if Baker Mayfield can actually play some quarterback, and he has good weapons around him now finally again. So maybe he can do something. We will see. Chicago Bears, they started off hot in free agency, but then they started to die down. They went after Tremaine Edmonds right away, making him the highest paid linebacker in the league, I believe. 4 years, $72 million deal. I believe it's around $50 million guaranteed, and then like 20 something million with incentives, of course. They go after TJ Edwards, the Eagles linebacker. They go after DeMarcus Walker, a defensive end. They go after Nate Davis, a 3-year, $30 million deal to protect Justin Fields, because that look like what it was needing to go after. I honestly think they should have went after some offensive linemen after getting these top four right here, because they really do need more offensive line help to protect Justin Fields. But they also did get DJ Moore out of the trade with Carolina for Carolina to get that #1 overall pick. So now I think they do have a decent offensive offense, but now they just need an offensive line and a little bit more defense. And you could see the Chicago Bears in the playoffs. Like I said, there was teams last year where we thought they were going to do insane last year, but they just flat out did not play like the team that they should have been playing like. Hopefully we see the Chicago Bears do it, because they have been in poverty for a while, so it would be good to see them possibly just reach out of that for a couple seasons for them to play again. So Chicago would not pretty much hate itself for the city that it is. Maybe they'd have some life finally, because it used to just be baseball that they cared about. Now maybe they can care about football again. Cincinnati Bengals, they are protecting Joe Burrow. They finally care about Joe Burrow's health by signing offensive lineman Orlando Brown. Of course, you're going to find some clips of him getting beat, of him getting ran over. Every offensive lineman, that happens to them. It's not that hard to find lowlights of an offensive lineman or any player in general, but he does play good when he is in the right system. He did play good for Baltimore and also Kansas City, and now I think he's going to be good on the Bengals. He went from one championship team to another championship team to help this team possibly reach a Super Bowl. Again, they were there just 2 years ago, so maybe they can't get there now. But I honestly think they should go after defense more, because they did lose Von Bell. They lost Jesse Bates, and now they for some reason they still have Eli Apple. He's not bad, but he's not better than some of these corners that you see out here on the market. They signed Irv Smith from the Vikings, not bad. And then you go down to these two teams right here, the Cleveland Browns and Dallas Cowboys. Both somewhat good. Cleveland Browns, Dalvin Tomlinson, the Vikings defensive tackle. He was, I'm pretty sure, the most sought after defensive tackle in this year's free agency period. Juan Thornhill to the Browns. He's actually not that bad. The Chiefs did lose a decent amount of defensive players, and that was their weakness, is their defense. And now Patrick Mahomes is going to have to do Patrick Mahomes things again and carry that team to the playoffs, because that defense just decides to let a lot of teams score this year, last year, and probably this year too, because it's pretty much just Chris Jones now, because they don't even have Frank Clark. Next, we go to The Dallas Cowboys, they re-signed Tony Pollard. They signed Donovan Wilson, safety. Leighton Vander Esch re-signed. Cooper Rush re-signed. Ronald Jones signed as a backup running back because Ezekiel Elliott was cut due to cap issues. And I also think it was because he was falling off and Tony Pollard was starting to go up and how good he was playing up until he did I think it was like a knee issue or an ankle issue when they played the 49ers. They had that hip drop tackle. They're thinking about banning that, but that injuries happen all the time with any kind of tackle, really. So I think Tony Pollard deserved to be that running back 1. Next, you go to the Denver Broncos. I give it like a B minus C plus free agency. They are starting to protect Russell Wilson a little more. They get a defensive end here in Zach Allen from the Arizona Cardinals. Not bad. This one right here, I really do like what the Detroit Lions did here. They signed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to a 1-year deal. They signed David Montgomery. They signed Cameron Sutton. They re-signed Alex Anzalone, and they went after some defensive players, as you can see here. This team, I think, can make the playoffs. I would love to see the Detroit Lions make the playoffs. I think a lot of people would, because they deserve it. They play really great. It's not like they're not a team that really anyone hates, honestly. Even some people in the NFC in their NFC division don't even hate them that much because they're such a likable team, honestly. Green Bay Packers, terrible F, honestly. Houston Texans, I give it like a B minus B plus here. They went after Robert Woods, not bad. Just to help that offense out because they did lose Brandon Cooks to the Texans. I'm not to the Texans, to the Cowboys. So I should have said that in the Cowboys one. That does help a little bit, but for some reason, you guys wanted to get DeAndre Hopkins, but you guys don't even push for him. I'm pretty sure the asking price is like a 2nd and 3rd round pick or 2nd and 4th. You guys easily could have gave that up. You pretty much gave up getting not Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks for what you gave Amari Cooper away for, which is like a 3rd and 5th or 4th and 5th or something like that. Really terrible decision there for you guys. Houston Texans, yeah, not bad. You guys, not that bad. Maybe you guys can get a quarterback in this year's free agency. Indianapolis Colts and Jaguars, not going to talk about that much. Not that many like fascinating signings, I would say, for any of these teams. So I'm gonna skip over really the teams that don't have that much or didn't do too much. The Chiefs, they lost a lot of people on defense. Mike Edwards, yeah, they signed him. They signed some decent defensive players, but no one that's going to make like a big difference on their defense. The only good signing they made this year was signing Jawan Taylor, the Jaguars tackle. He has a really versatile offensive tackle. I believe he's now the highest paid offensive tackle for 4 years, 80 million, $60 million guaranteed or something like that. So he does deserve it because he was pretty good last year. Raiders, they did do a lot, as you can see here. It's pretty much like 15, 20 players they almost signed right here. They signed Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know why. All these Raiders fans are probably pretty upset because they think that they downgraded, but they pretty much just stayed the same because Jimmy Garoppolo and Derek Carr pretty much played the same and pretty much looked the same on how they play, to me, honestly. So, not that much. Chargers sucked. Rams, they signed one person. What the hell is that? Miami Dolphins, not bad. They went after what is it? Why can't Jalen Ramsey? Went after Jalen Ramsey. After that, nothing too much here. Minnesota Vikings, it was all right. No, honestly, it wasn't too bad. Here they got Marcus Davenport, Byron Murphy, the Arizona Cardinals corner. It seems like when the Cardinals get a good corner, they always go over to the Vikings, it seemed like, because that's what happened with Patrick Peterson too. So maybe that'll happen again. New England Patriots. I'm a Patriots fan. I did like some of these signings. With Juju Smith-Schuster, it was I'm pretty sure it's a 3 or $33 million deal. The same thing that the Raiders gave. Was it Jacoby Myers? It kind of sucks that we did lose him. I did really like him on the team. We did do good offensively and defensively. Signed Juju, re-signed Jonathan Jones. We signed the Gritty King, as you can see here, Mike Gesicki. Not bad. We have Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki now. James Robinson is replacing Damian Harris, and now Ramondre Stevenson is going to be the Patriots running back 1 for the next couple of years. I can't wait to see what he does. I can't wait. I give the Patriots an A-, and that's not me being biased. If it was me being biased, I would have given them an A+. But me being honest, I want to see them go after DeAndre Hopkins, but it doesn't look like we're gonna do that, sadly. New Orleans Saints, bad, honestly. Nothing too special here. Jamal Williams, he's a great player, great person, but nothing too special. Yeah, there's not that much that really sticks out to me. Giants did good. Jets did all right. Maybe if they get Aaron Rodgers, it'll be an A+ for right now. It's a B-. It's a B-, I would say, yeah. Or a C+. Eagles, that's a C+. They lost a lot of people, a lot of great people on their offense and defensive side. Steelers, C+. 49ers, I give it a B+ because they added to that defense. Seahawks, it was not that good, honestly. No one else really stands out to me that much in signings, I would say, in those last couple of teams. But those teams that I did go over, there's a lot of teams that did do good in free agency and teams that did bad. I think the team that did the worst, even though they signed more people than the Rams, is the Ravens, because they already look like they're going to lose Lamar Jackson in a trade to whoever. Don't know yet, but it looks like they are going to lose Lamar Jackson, which is their biggest issue so far. So if you guys did like what I said about this free agency period, make sure you guys do drop a like down below. And until then, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.